Do you get me? Are you feeling this? I don't know what that was, but for the rest of this video, I suddenly have a British accent. Hi lovely, my name is Sulola, and if you're watching this video, it means that you're interested in self-awareness, you're curious about it, or you just recently started your journey and trying to learn more about it. So this is my first video on self-awareness, and I'll be talking to you about what self-awareness is, why it's important, and how to practice it. If this is something you're interested in, then please keep watching. A lot of people talk about self-awareness. You have to be self-aware. Self-awareness is key to growth. Self-awareness is key to success, and it can get kind of confusing, like what exactly is it? Self-awareness is being actively conscious of who you are, your character, your feelings, and reasons behind many of the things that you do and that you think. So there are two types of self-awareness, right? This is beginning to seem lectury, but there are two types of self-awareness, both internal and external, and a really highly self-aware person has both. And what's internal self-awareness? Internal self-awareness means the way you think about yourself, and external self-awareness means the things that people think about you. Not haters, just generally what people think about you. Let me just quickly plug in that if you're interested in self-awareness, I did write a free ebook/guide that will help you to be more self-aware. It asks questions that would open up your mind and open up who you really are if you think deeply enough. If you're interested in this, I'm going to put the link in my description, so make sure you check it out. It's free and it's like 18 pages or 17 pages, so you will easily breeze through it in like 10 to 15 minutes. Why is self-awareness important? Why do I need to bother about self-awareness? I know who I am. I'm just going to be going about my day. I have goals. I don't need to worry about that. But it is important because if you're not aware, you'll be like a zombie that's just going about your day, just going through the things that society says you should be doing, just going through the process that you feel like you need to get to. When I'm ticking boxes that you believe that you should tick off at certain ages without actively being conscious of who you are, how you're feeling, your thoughts about these things. You're not analyzing your own feelings and analyzing your own emotions properly to make sure that you're actually growing mentally and emotionally. If you live in Lagos like I do, it's a very stressful environment, and it's very easy, at least before the pandemic and lockdown, to just wake up in the morning, dress up, go to work, be in traffic, deal with all kinds of things and all kinds of crazy people on the road. Work, close, get back into traffic again, get back home. It's very stressful. You can't even hear your own thoughts. You can't even pause. There's no time to pause. It's so easy to just wake up one day and it's like, oh my god, my life has gone. I've been working at this job that I hate. I've had no moment to actually think that I'm actually happy at this job. Is this what I really want to do? So if you don't take a moment to pause and reflect and just analyze how you're feeling and what you're feeling, it's easy to suppress and repress emotions, which will then build up, and then all of a sudden you're angry all the time, you're unhappy, you're depressed, you're sad, and it's like, why? How can this be traced? What is going on all of a sudden? Meanwhile, it's not all of a sudden, it's been building up, but you're not aware of your own self. Do you feel me? I feel like we just came full circle. Another thing is that many of us are raised in ways that we need to learn, relearn, and unlearn certain things that we've been taught that just doesn't apply anymore. And it's necessary that you challenge these thoughts, these actions, these cultures that we think that you have to stick to, or that you have to just uphold, even when they're not true to who you really are. And if you stay true to who you are, you're more likely to build healthier relationships, put in boundaries, be able to respect boundaries, be able to grow and be emotionally healthy the way you're meant to be. Knowing all of these helps you to reduce your stress, because you won't have things just popping off seeming like all of a sudden that are stressing you. Right from when things are stressing you, you'll be able to know that, okay, this is what's stressing me, because you're constantly aware of yourself and when you're doing things that are just not good for you, which is a thing that self-awareness helps you to do. It helps you build a standard of correctness, it's called. And what it means is that you know certain things that you expect from yourself and that you want for yourself, and that you feel like it's true to yourself. So when something that you do or that someone else does to you doesn't meet a certain level of correctness, you'll be able to know that, okay, this is falling short of what I really want for myself, and you'll be able to make moves to correct it. This doesn't mean that you have no compromise in your life. It means that you're not compromising on your happiness and on your mental health. Is this making sense to you? Because I feel like we're connecting still. Okay, so how can you practice all of these? It sounds great. It sounds like something that could really set some kind of balance in your life. Okay, so how can you practice this? 1, spend more time with yourself. Sometimes if you find yourself easily shying away from being by yourself for just like spend time with myself to do what? Spend more time with yourself. It doesn't matter what you're doing while with yourself. Do the things that you enjoy, do the things that you like, just lay. I find it very easy to think. I'm more self-aware when I pray. That's just something that works for me. So find quiet times to actually hear yourself think. 2, write down your plans and your priorities, things that really, really matter to you, things that you really, really want. And bear in mind that these things can shift at any point. Even as you get more self-aware and as you evolve more, these things will likely shift. But just write down the things that are important to you at that moment, and you can update it as necessary. 3, write down your strengths and your weaknesses, then reflect on them, and then also go ahead to show them to friends or family that you trust to tell you the truth, that will not be shy of your feelings, but at the same time will give you constructive criticism and just let you know, okay, this is what's correct, these are actually your strengths. Like, oh, did you actually know that you have this strength? Because this is not this. You can be like, I can do that. Like, I didn't even think it was a big deal. It's like, oh, this is your strength of yours, and it's like, oh, actually you do this is a weakness of yours. I don't know if you know this, but I think this about you. Just somebody that can, or people that can point out these things to you, even helps you be more self-aware. I remember what we talked about in the beginning when I said there's internal self-awareness and there's external self-awareness. So after you write down the strengths and weaknesses, which is your internal self-awareness, then you need to take a step further and show it to people that will be able to say, okay, this is actually correct, this is actually true, and based on the consensus realize that these are my strengths and my weaknesses. Try that. Write down your thoughts and your feelings. That sounds very mush, right? Who has time for that? But sometimes you can just write down how you feel. So for the ladies, I don't know if you have a period calendar. So there's certain times in the month when I get feelings that are not really mine, I would say, because they seem very extreme and not the way I usually feel. And then there's a journal right in the app that I use, and it's called Period Calendar. And in the app I use, I write down, there's a space that you can use to write down how you're feeling, your emotions, so you can keep account of how your period is affecting your emotions. So I think that daily you can just write down little things. You don't have to get into your feelings so much, but you can just like write down things like, oh, this is how I'm feeling. Just type it down. It's a form of release for you. It's just like when you share your problem with somebody, they can't really give you a solution, but it makes you feel a little better, like, oh, at least I shared that. And so if you don't have anybody that you can share it with, a book can be somewhere you can write that down. And even if you do have somebody to share it with, it's not all the time and at all hours that you'll be able to share it with them. So why not somewhere? Trust me, it will give you clarity. It will really give and make you just better understand yourself. 5, be more mindful and a good listener. It happens to the best of us. We just hear, but we're not really listening, or we're just waiting for somebody to talk just so that we can talk our own. Okay, hurry up, let me talk my own. And that happens to the best of us. It happens to me many times. I realize, okay, Lola, relax, you're not actually listening. And so even when somebody says something to me, I really like to ask them questions to clarify and make sure that I'm really getting a good feel of what the person is saying. Because sometimes we hear based on our own perception and our own bias. We're not really listening. So try to be more mindful, try to be a better listener. It just makes you be more self-aware. And what I mean by mindful is that whatever you do, question the things that you do. Question the things that you do and that you think, why am I doing this? Why am I thinking that? Why do I think that? What has led to me being the kind of person that thinks that way? And this is not to say that you second guess yourself. No, this is so that you have more clarity and just better understanding. You can also take personality tests or self-awareness tests. Many of these tests actually will put you in a category, and they might even compare it to some popular names just so that you know the kind of person that you are or whatever, and just really point you in the direction of, okay, this is why I do this. It gives clarity too. You can try them. It's just like zodiac signs. I don't put a whole lot of stock in them, but it is a point in the right direction. 7, learn your patterns. So if you're angry, what do you usually do? If you're sad, what do you usually do? If you're happy, what do you usually do? And how do you get yourself out of these things? So you can build a pattern for yourself and also identify your pattern so that you can be able to easily resolve and get yourself out of these situations. Like, for example, when you're sad, you have certain things that you do, and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, I'm not so sad anymore. If you're more conscious of what those things are, you're more likely to get yourself out of your sadness faster the next time. It might not exactly work that way, but it is a step in the right direction for managing your emotions better and faster. Finally, I come closer for this one.
Please come closer. Too close.
It's a gradual process. It's not something that will just, oh, now I am self-aware. Wow. Thank you, Minister Lola. That's not how it works. You have to work at it every day, or just basically bear it in mind every time that this is something that I'm working towards, and this is something that you will keep improving on. If you think that you're already self-aware enough, that's a sign that you're actually not self-aware at all. So the more you practice it, the better you get at it. And the point of this, like I said, is just so that you can grow and also to improve yourself and evolve into being the best version of yourself. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed that or you loved that, please let me know in the comments. I would love to hear your thoughts, and if there are any of these things that you would like to practice, or if there are any of these things that you already practice and you like to do more of, or whatever feedback you have at all, please also let me know in the comments. Make sure that you are subscribed, make sure that you like this video, and make sure that you share it with anybody that you feel will also benefit from this video. Thank you once again, and see you in my next video.